Howdy folks, welcome back to Out of Ore. We're switching machines. It's going to be a boring video. We're going to do some tunneling, aka boring. So I bought this beast and I've done just a little bit of cleaning out here. But the idea is we'll bore in with this and it will dump in either to the hopper or to the conveyor underneath here. I've got a conveyor running into the hopper and I've got these grates on top. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. This unfortunately doesn't point the direction I want to go. So I may end up doing something where we kind of change directions a bit. But I've got room because this, this conveyor is down there a bit. So we could have a conveyor at that level, still be underneath this level, if that makes sense. Have it go that direction. We just have to get power down here because it'd be a separate power grid. But anywho, let's quit yapping. Let's get in this thing. Oh, one thing to note, when I bought this, it didn't have any lights facing this direction, strangely enough. So I bought a couple of lights and put on here so we can see that direction. I thought that was kind of strange. Also, not a ton of gas. So anywho, I've been kind of finagling around here trying to get this pointed in the direction I want to go. And let's see, I gotta familiarize myself. So it's Y and U, right? All right, so Y. So that front thing goes up, that means the boring head is on. You can see it fills up now. This didn't used to be this way. They've really improved this a lot. And then I hit U, it'll start dumping off in there. So it does have a little bit of a buffer where it doesn't dump out. So that's nice. Just getting some maneuvering room carved out here. There we go. And we're getting almost to the point where we need to stop. So we'll turn off the head. Let that drain out. Kick it into high gear. So I'm kind of carving around this corner and then we're going to try to head off towards the metal eventually. Have to watch out because this little boom thingy here is fairly long. I really need to carve more out there. I might have to get the loader in and do that. It's kind of hampering me. We do have some buffer, like I said, in the belt here. I'm not sure I got enough room. This thing does stick out quite a ways. Let's go back to low gear. And then get the camera back here. There we go. Oh, we got room. All right, let's get some of this carved off. See how much I can get in here with the buffer that I've got. It's not going to be a lot. Just want to fill that up pretty quick. I don't know what happens once you fill up the trough here. Does it? Yeah, it just quits cutting. Makes sense. All right, back to high gear on the hydrostatic. Then I just need to flip this around. It's about there, and then we should be able to dump off into the hopper. So it's a little bit of maneuvering, but it's not too bad. Here we go. And it's kind of fun using the tunneler. Yeah, let's kick that up to high unless we're cutting. All right, looks like we're full up. No problem. Just got to rotate this, and I think we could dump on that conveyor, right? Yeah, we could just dump right onto the conveyor, and that works. Cool. So this thing didn't used to have the buffer like that. That's I haven't used it much in quite a while. So that's a big improvement. I like it. So let's take a little bit more off of here. Oops. It turn the other way once you turn around. Oops, I hit B. I don't know if that does anything. And actually, I want to be down just a little bit. So you can see this moves a ton of material in a hurry. All right, back into high gear. Pivot around, try not to bang into too much stuff. Offload onto the conveyor. And rinse and repeat. Okay, turn the head off. We're almost to the point where I could cut and dump. Swivel over there. Try to get the camera position. I can't see what the thing's doing. Let's just... Yeah, it's going into the conveyor. All right, cool. It gets a little tight under here with the camera. All right, actually, I can leave that up. Turn the head back on. As we're cutting this way, I can just cut and dump. Still hold up here. You're on. Why are you not cutting? Hello? Not sure what's happening. Let me turn that off. Move that head up just a bit. I don't know. Why are you why you're not cutting there, bud? It just comes to a dead stop. All right, well that's fun. Okay. Now let's back up a bit. It's cutting this way. It's cutting through that, no problem. We can start getting into the hopper. Yeah, it just comes to a dead stop there. Okay. There's something special about that wall over there? Where am I? Gotta get reoriented. Is it rock or something? This thing will not go through rock anymore unless they change that again. You have to blast it. I didn't think there was any rock down here. Yeah, that's just dirt. It's just dirt all around. Huh. Okay. Turn that off. Turn the head back on. Yeah, it just comes to a dead stop. I don't understand. Why are you stopping? It's scraping from like the top of the ceiling, it looks like. I wonder, is it like hitting the ceiling or something? Like, is there a bounding box issue here where it's different size than the visual geometry or something? I don't know what else would be causing it to stop. That should be jumping on the conveyor. There it goes. I was a little too far over. I think it dumped some out on the ground. Yeah, that's strange. I don't know what's going on there. I might have to get the loader and do that part. We try coming at it from a slightly different angle. I've almost got this cleared how I want it. I do need to get this lowered back down a bit. Yeah, it's cutting right through now. There surely must be a little thing sticking down and it's hitting some invisible geometry. It's the only thing I can figure. Alright, we are overloaded, but I think, can we get in the... Yeah, we're hitting the conveyor. No, we're stuck again. Alright. Fun. I'm hung up on the... It won't climb up the tiny little slope. Thing's a little janky. Let me try taking some of that ceiling off and see if that helps. Because now I'm stuck this direction. That may be because I'm stuck on the concrete. This game's a lot of fun, but it's not without its issues. Yeah, see there it's bumping up. There's some kind of invisible geometry that it's hitting. So I get this drug out of there. Come on, you. There we go. We got past whatever that was. Alright, let's go up a bit. It's as far up as it will go. Doesn't appear to be cutting much, which is unfortunate. And it's just bouncing off that too. Oh no, I had the head turned off. Derp. And we're getting into tricky territory. Alright, turn you off. Let you empty out. We have to get some more concrete blocks down. This thing is very finicky. So then I want to head, you know, that direction, the direction I'm looking down the tunnel. And then also, what's the gas? The gas is not terrible, but it's getting fairly low. I'm not sure how I'm going to refuel this unless I just bring the fuel tank down here. We'll have to figure that out. All right, pickaxe in hand. Let's get some of this cleaned up. Some of this cleaned up. Get my light on so you guys can see a little better. And then I think I'm going to need some more Dramite action. So let's go put that in there. And then I've got a little bit of Dramite left. So anyway, I started blasting. Fire in the hole. The Dramite, like I said, it clears out. It doesn't just delete material. It doesn't just blow it up and resettles. It actually deletes it. And from what I understand, it's named after our good friend Dre, who did some wild and crazy stuff in this game. If you're not familiar with Dre, most of you probably are, go check him out on YouTube. D-R-A-E. Funny dude. He's a little bit high energy, which is not usually my thing. But he's pretty darn entertaining. I've watched quite a bit of his stuff. Okay, so what we want is a conveyor. I want the conveyor to be like underneath this level. So I want to put this on free build. That's not the right button. There we go. And then I want to be roughly pointed that direction. But I want to be kind of in line with this. So I'm going to try my best. So I want to be about like, we could be up a little bit. That's not a big deal. So let's do like that. And then if I snap off of here, if I change back to snap build, how's that looking? That's not looking terrible. I like it. All right, we'll get rid of that because it's a little goofy looking. It actually should be over a little bit. Shouldn't it? Yes, it should. That's the wrong button. I'm going to go back to free build. So I want this kind of in the middle. About there, I think. I'm going to get rid of you guys. There's the method to my madness. And then we'll go back to snap build, and then this will be like that. Some of you probably already see what I'm doing here. Something like that. Expose a little more of the face. Nope, not like that. Like that. Actually, is that right? Yeah. Yeah, then the conveyor will be underneath here. Might not be done with that. Let's do the straight guys. So then can I snap? I want to be able to snap this. Okay, so I can snap it to there. So what I need to do then is get a block here and here. And then snap, nope, I want to snap the other direction, so that's no good. That goes down to here, so then I need a block there to snap to. It'll snap coming back this direction. There we go. Then we need to get this to dump into that conveyor there, is the idea. So some of this stuff's going to have to change. If I did a splitter here, that might let me get some power on here. I'm going to clear some more of this out. I don't believe I have a splitter on me. We're going to need some more dump deck and straights anyway. So let's teleport down to the store. And go to factory, conveyors. We're going to need a bunch of dump decks. So let's grab like 20 of those. How much money have I got? Ooh, I'm down to 91,000. We're going to have to be a little more conservative. Still, we start cranking out the money. And then I want a splitter. And I want a 1x power input. We're going to need some power pylons. As far as I know, you still have to use the max wattage or you'll blow stuff up. It's just a little sad. I can only afford about 4 of those. That'll get us somewhat close, I think. I've got some other straights and stuff to play with. Let's see if that will get us what we need. And I'll turn this guy off. Actually, while I'm doing stuff, do I have the... Doesn't seem like I have the coal bypass on. Let me check that. I do need to get catwalks and stuff set up over here. No, I do have it on. I just wasn't digging much coal. Fair enough. All right, we need some money. I've got a decent amount of coal, actually. Let's just go ahead and sell that off. I can always get more. Let that sell. All right, I had an idea in my head of how to get power on here. Wait, do I not have sound? Oh, there's no game. Are you kidding me? I've been recording for 20 minutes and there's no game sound. How is that a thing? All right, let me fix that. Wow. Pro YouTuber. All right, well, just imagine there was sounds for the first 20 minutes of this video. I checked that before. I must have done something else. So somehow my volumes got reset. And I was redoing everything. And then I had it working in OBS, and then I was off doing other stuff. Somehow I messed it up again. My apologies. My apologies for that. All right, splitter. So splitter needs to be off of a different direction. All right, I'm gonna have to clear out some of this stuff to make this work, I think. So let's do that, and then so I really need it to split off of that. So I think that means I need to go here and here, maybe. I wish you could just pick which end it would snap to. That would make this so much easier. I need to be 1 over. Isn't that what I was? No, that doesn't work the way I thought it was. My bad. Because this is coming in this direction. Yeah, because we don't have a variant. Okay, yeah, I didn't need the splitter. Never mind. I'll have to put a... Is it the merger? Because the merger goes the other direction. Didn't I have a merger? Don't have a merger. All right. Well, can I do a 4 and then I think the power input's going to be the opposite direction. Yeah, it's not going to want to snap on there. I think it's usually a merger is how I merge it into a line, but that's not going to work in this particular case. I need a T-junction. I just don't have the room here. So that would split. But then I can't put the power on this side. I was thinking I could put the power on this side, but I can't. Because it needs to be an input. I was just thinking about that wrong. If I had the merger, I don't have the money for a merger, I don't think. Sold a little bit of stuff. Well, anyway, I'll figure out how to get the power on there. Let's we continue this way a little bit. I think I may have to get the tunneler in here before we can go too far. There we go. So you get the idea. It's going to be like that, and then we'll have our dump deck, which I can snap onto these guys. Like that. And then I'll have to clear more of this out and get some more number 8 going. When I say number 8, I mean a straight 8. Actually, do I need to clear more of that off? I think that's... Yeah, probably should clear a little more of this out. You can get to a point where if something falls on it, it builds up over the conveyor, and then the conveyor no longer is conveying. At least that's how it used to be. We get this cleared out a little more. And then get the 8X back in there. So I need the number 7 there. I'm done with that for now. Let's get the straights back in here. Do that. And then we'll figure out how to dump that. Snap you guys on there, and Bob's your uncle. All right, let me figure out the power thing, and I'll be right back. Well, it's really ugly, but I think it's going to work. I just have to get power down here, which I don't have yet. I bought some power poles that are too tall for this. And I'm basically out of money, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. But what I ended up doing is putting a merger here. So it was the merger I needed. It's just at a different angle. So I had to extend this one out a little bit. So it comes down the merger, and it comes over here. It should drop onto that belt. And then I've got the power input here, and then we'll run power in somewhere. And then we're off to the races. I think that's going to work. Let me see if I can get in this thing and do some more damage. It's going to be coming down kind of this line. Get centered up on that. And we're stuck again. I don't know what this is getting stuck on. It's interesting. This thing appears to be broken in some ways. I'll have to do some experimenting. Yeah, I don't know what it's getting stuck on. But it occasionally gets stuck, and it just won't cut anything. Don't know why that is. I need to turn that off. Let me go. Yeah, it's literally just stuck right here. Is that on the power? That might be getting stuck on the power. Are you stuck on the power? Get rid of that real quick. Yeah, I was getting hung up on the power. Was that what it was getting hung up on over here? I didn't think I was touching that yet, but the angle's a little weird. It could have been touching. Okay, yeah, I was getting hung up on the power. Fair enough. So we can feed into that. No problem. Fill up our buffer. Can we drop onto the end of that conveyor? Maybe. We'll find out. Alright, and then once I'm past the power, should be okay. So let me get lined back up over here. Pivot that way, and then we're basically going to go just down this direction. Back into low speed. Then we will transition into the other belt, is the idea. Yeah, then we're onto the belt that is not powered. Then we'll trundle down this direction. Excellent. Alright, I have a plan. Turn the head off. Need to get my cool beacon put on here. Alright, that's the plan. So I'll get some power around down here in between episodes, and then we'll continue down that way. I might dig out some of this dirt in between episodes, because that's just going to be kind of boring, but that's the idea. We're pointed towards the metal now, and once I get power hooked up here, we'll be able to convey out, and we'll be off to the races. So that'll do it for this one. Thanks as always for hanging out. Apologize again for no game sound the first 20 minutes. That was my bad. I'll catch you in the next adventure. Take care.